a guy that doesn't like to get suited up too often, this feels pretty good. Yeah, I can get used to this. Thank you.
Do you have Hall of Fame pants and a ruffled shirt, Michael?
Is this not this isn't quite what you were looking for? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm gonna take this into consideration now that I've had the fitting. I'll try to get a matching undershirt and a good pair of shorts. Yeah, try to keep things classy.
What was your initial reaction when you got the call and you knew that the red jacket was coming your way?
You know, it's hard to put it into words. I actually received a call from Robert. I want to say it was roughly 9:30 in the morning, and I'll never forget it because I spent a lot of time in the spring chasing turkeys. Anybody that knows me knows that that's a real problem in my life, and I happened to be in the field when I got the call. And you know, look, just to be recognized along with Richard Seymour and Mike Vrabel. Seymour and I came in here in that class of 2001. He was the first pick, I was the second pick, and it was pretty incredible to watch not just Richard and Mike, but all the other guys that I played with, the guys that have been inducted into the Hall that I spent so many hours, you know, game planning with, practicing with, getting to know, and then just to have the ability to be mentioned alongside those guys, that was literally an incredible moment for me and my family. But you know, to get the call from Mr. Kraft and him welcome me into what is a very elite group of individuals who have done, you know, amazing things. And I've gone back and I've, you know, looked at some of the speeches some of these guys have given over the years, and it's an incredible group to share space with. I'll put it to you that way.
Is there a time limit on the speech? Are you going to go over? Do they have to bring out the gong?
You know, yeah, they may have to try to remove me. No, you know, look, it is a bit overwhelming, I will say that. You know, being what's roughly 48 hours away from trying to express the gratitude and, you know, the proper amount of respect to all the people that have helped put me in this position. It's not an easy task. And you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, the thing that's most important to me is just to show the relationship side of the game. You know, and that's the thing I'm going to focus on. The X's and O's, and I guess I'm fortunate. I don't have to try to recall any major play where I sacked a guy or I actually caught the ball or ran and did something athletic. I didn't have to do any of those things, so I guess that's a cool thing because most guys probably have to try to relive some of those moments because everybody remembers them. And the only time they ever remember something that I did is if, you know, Tommy got hit or a bat got blown up in the backfield. And I'm going to focus on the things that, to me, made my career so special.
Final question. You're going to invite Dwight Freeney to the, just to say, hey, despite your efforts.
Hey, you know, he is a guy that I should have reached out to Dwight. You know, look, I've said it from the day I retired because I would never give him the satisfaction of knowing that he was my, he was the kryptonite, right? So I have a ton of respect for a lot of guys like him, though. You know, the guys that pushed me to get better each and every week. And, you know, look, I was fortunate. We had most of those guys right here in our locker room. And we had a coaching staff that put a lot of pressure on you. But when you go up against the best, which we went up against the best week in and week out, you know, whether it was right here in the AFC East or if it was, you know, gearing up for, you know, some big NFC, you know, rival. But the Colts, to your point, we faced those guys, I felt like at least once, if not twice, every season. And he definitely... You made note of that one.
Are you going to reveal your top 5 pranks?
Well, as it pertains to the relationships that were formed and how the game was played, I think everything that I think back on has some lighter moment, so to speak, and so I think that'll just naturally happen. Yes.
You have a jersey. You know, you have the red jacket, and Tom Brady's still playing. Through that whole time that you've done all of that.
Oh, not after watching Tom versus Time. I mean, I kind of got it figured out now. No, gosh, you know, I could go on. I could probably do a whole speech on him. And you know, when you play against guys like a Tom Brady or play with a guy like Tom Brady, gosh, you're just reminded in so many ways of, you know, what we've done, what we've accomplished, and the fact that he's still doing it right now is a little bit mind-boggling. I'm waiting for him to, you know, lose a little step so I can send him a text or dog him a little bit, but I haven't quite gotten there.
Are you predicting a turnaround for this team?
You know, I think it's I think what's happening with the team right now is kind of what happens early in the season. We talked about it a lot through my career that, you're never going to truly know what you have until you get enough time to put it out there. I would say 4 weeks at a minimum before you really start to understand, how you can develop some of the younger guys, how you can work other guys into the mix. What are they going to do rotationally when some of these guys go down or when they get some of these guys back? Those are all things that take time. I'm in the don't panic, don't ever hit the button. Always have faith in the system because that's what's gotten this organization to where it is today. So keep the faith. One game at a time. We'll be on to the next opponent here pretty soon, but we'll see what happens here with Miami. And look, it's a great group. They got some young guys that are playing really well. For me, I key in on the offensive line. It's been interesting to watch what they're doing and how they're doing it. And I think they got a lot of guys that are making some great decisions in there, and they just got to get more guys to step up.
To build off of that, Julian will come back next season. From you having been in the locker room, those situations when a guy comes back after he's been away like that, what would that mean to the team? What would that do?
Yeah, and you're talking about a guy in Julian who, when he got here, I remember he was one of the guys people would always ask me, who's the guy in the locker room, who's the young guy, or who's the guy that they brought in free agency that you really like, and I'd say, well, you know what? There's this kid Julian Edelman. He's like a legit football player, and they would say, Julian Edelman, you mean the quarterback? And I'd be like, yeah, that quarterback kid. And so I've always had a great deal of respect for him, how he approaches the game, just everything that is his system when it comes to the game of football. And I think by having him back in the mix, it does one very important thing. It gives everybody a lot more confidence. And you had to go into games with confidence, and you do that by preparation throughout the week. And that's where you that's where you can really leave your mark on things that maybe didn't go so well the week before, or new things that you want to try. But at the end of the day, there's only so many guys that take the field. And when you have a guy like that who's pretty good at coming up with the clutch plays, it's going to instill a lot more confidence, and hopefully it'll open some things up in that offense.